Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 81 of Pokemon Horizons titled A Grand Battle, Earth-Gouging Fire just dropped, and in this episode, our heroes come across and battle Gouging Fire to try to join their quest to help Terrapagos. Will they be successful? Let's talk about it. After last episode, as our heroes arrive the next morning to the place where Entei was spotted in the camera, they sit down there for a bit to begin discussing their plans. We see that Sidian and Coral are still observing them from a distance and have not been caught. Coral is still bored. However, her screen tail comes out and begins screaming, so as she deals with that, a massive shadow flies over them. The Pokemon that our heroes are looking for, this Entei-looking Pokemon, arrives in front of them. And this time, they are sure that this is the Pokemon they are looking for, as Terrapagos resonates with it. The other hero Pokemon also come out of their Pokeball to tell Liko that it's up to her, so she goes to this Pokemon and asks it to join them. It seems like it's willing to, as it gives up its ancient Pokeball very easily to Liko. However, things aren't always that easy, as it takes the remaining hero Pokemon belt and puts it inside of its fur, as it challenges our heroes to come get it in order to earn its respect. This Entei looking thing at first protects itself with Burning Bulwark, which prevents our heroes from attacking close range without being burned. Dot realizes that the move must take a lot of stamina and that they should use ranged move until the move runs out. Then they can have Captain Pikachu use Thunder Punch. They try that strategy to hit it from range and dodge around for a while as Burning Bulwark stops. Then Captain Pikachu does indeed use Thunder Punch, but it seemingly does nothing. Then it fires back with a Dragon Pulse. As she was watching the battle from a distance, Briar and Dot also come to the same conclusion. This is not an Entei. In fact, this is a Paradox Pokemon. And later in the episode, they figure out that it's called Gouging Fire. It's a Fire and Dragon type. Briar also explains that the research behind Paradox Pokemon are pretty new, so she could see why Lucius might have mistaken this thing for an Entei back in the days. I have a small issue with this explanation, but we'll get to that later. Since its typing is different than they thought, that means that their only super effective move against it is Stomping Tantrum. However, Dot thinks that that shouldn't make a difference in their strategy, as they can hit from a distance and then attack using Stomping Tantrum. But when they do it this time, Gouging Fire just brushes off the attacks. So seeing that their moves are weak, Dot gets an idea. She has Quaxwell jump into the water and spray with Air Cutter, but since Quaxwell is doing it in the water, Air Cutter turns into Aqua Cutter. Aqua Cutter has a lot more chance of landing critical hits, and it seemingly does, as Gouging Fire gets frustrated and starts using Burning Bulwark for defense once again. But while it's going after our Florigato, Pikachu, and Quaxwell, Crocalor is on the side preparing a Stomping Tantrum. And since so far its moves haven't done enough, its frustration is building, meaning that a Stomping Tantrum will do way more damage. So, as soon as Burning Bulwark goes away, Dot has Crocalor send out a massive Stomping Tantrum that seemingly does massive damage. However, just then, Gouging Fire fires a Dragon Pulse from the sky to clear the clouds for sunlight in order to activate photosynthesis. Once it does, it uses Raging Fury, which looks incredible. It does massive damage to all of the Pokemon, and even Cap is put in a bad position and has to be saved by Crocalor. But while this is going on, Dot is getting more and more excited, claiming that the battle is fun as they're figuring out how to counter and they will beat Gouging Fire. However, they notice that Raging Fury does have a side effect of confusion, and Gouging Fire hurts itself for a bit until it snaps back. So seeing this, Friede tells Dot to make the plans, and she comes up with a different plan this time than just relying on Stomping Tantrum. She has everyone terrestrialize and attack from a distance while dodging Raging Fury from Gouging Fire. As Raging Fury is getting close to being done, she then has her terrestrialized Quaxwell use Aqua Cutter to cause Gouging Fire to chase it into the water. As the Raging Fire finishes off in the water and Gouging Fire is wet and confused, then Cap attacks from top with Thunder Punch, which does extra massive damage now that Gouging Fire is wet. Liko's belt with all the ancient Pokeball flies out of it, and Liko has Florigato catch it with its bud, and that's it. Now that they've gotten the belt, the battle is over. As Liko asks it to join them, Terrapagos arrives, and Gouging Fire shows our heroes its memories of Lucius from Terrapagos' perspective. It's of Lucius riding around on Gouging Fire thinking it's Entei, and he's eventually able to lay on top of it, which seemingly means he has made Gouging Fire comfortable enough around him. He then calls back his Gouging Fire, as they seemingly are friends now, and he tells Ristle that now he's ready to head to Laqua. While they were able to see everything else, this is the one thing that the explorers can't see, as they aren't inside the pink circular bubble thing. Eventually, Gouging Fire goes back in its ball. That means all that's left is Rayquaza. However, just then, the sky clears. A loud noise, and from the sky comes down to Area Zero Rayquaza, as all of the other hero Pokemon also come out of their Pokeball. That is the end of the episode. So going back to what I talked about in the episode itself, but my only small problem with the bit of change about this Gouging Fire to Entei thing is that apparently Lucius knew enough what a Entei was that he knew that Gouging Fire looked similar, and that presumably means he also knew that Entei was a fire type. I mean, obviously, right? Entei has been a legendary for a long period of time. The Tale of Ho-Oh spans a long time ago, and Lucius is not that long ago. So it's not a new legendary, but it didn't look different enough or use enough weird moves for both Ristle and Lucius to not even realize that this is a completely different Pokemon? I don't buy it. That's the only real thing. Besides that, I really like this episode. The battle was very strategy focused, and since last episode's battle was Roy focused, this episode the battle was Dot focused, meaning next episode it'll probably be Liko focused. It seems like the writers want to balance out all three trios battling focus episodes. I didn't expect Rayquaza to appear this soon after capturing the 5th hero, but narratively it acts similar to like a boss fight in a video game, so it makes sense. I'm just really curious to see where they manage to go after this. I feel like the show is about to come to a major turning point. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I really am curious. To put it into perspective, episode 81 was in the original Kanto anime when Ash lost in the league, the second to last episode. So next episode feels like a major episode that this episode helps set up. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the story next, but I am eager to find out. But what about you guys? What did you guys think about this episode? And are you excited for what's potentially coming next? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.